Hello and welcome to the Stars and Horizons YouTube channel if you haven't been here before. So I felt really called to start doing weekly readings for the Divine Feminine so that we can stay on track ourselves and stay a little bit more focused on our part of the journey, staying really grounded in the work that we are here to do and understanding that spiritual growth that we experience on our own end is really kind of at the heart of this path. And this is also a reading regardless of if you are connected to a twin flame or are on that journey or curious about that journey. This is just kind of something for all individuals who connect with the feminine energy. And as it is rising on the planet, I know that a lot of people will benefit from this reading. So for today, I'm doing a spread. It's a really popular spread within the tarot community and the oracle community. It's the Celtic cross, so it's 10 cards, and it kind of maps our way forward. And I am using Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light deck, which they are simply stunning cards, very feminine, very empowering, which is why I just love this deck so much. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I fan out my cards into a big little rainbow and just kind of see where they're taking us. So the first card that I pull is always the issue at hand. The second card is the obstacle. The third card is the conscious mind. Fourth card, unconscious mind. Past, future, present, mentors on the path, our hopes or fears, and then the possible outcome. And so I am just finishing out. I like to lay out all 10 cards so I can start seeing the roadmap. All right, so here we go. So the issue at hand is Akasha. And I know that this doesn't really do justice to the cards, but Akasha is this idea that we are divinely guided. And I know a lot of us right now are kind of feeling forgotten, abandoned, neglected by our spirit guides, angels, and the ascended masters. And so that is the issue, that because we're not seeing the growth, because we're not seeing the progress, we're really struggling on that front. And we are in this kind of almost blame game. And I believe in transparency. I believe in being raw and vulnerable. And so that definitely resonates with some of what I've come up against over the past kind of 48, 72 hours in regards to my flame journey. So what is the obstacle? What is actually getting in the way? And so what's getting in the way is the crumbling. What are we clinging to? And this card came up the other day in another reading I did for this very, in this very same slot, we'll say. And so whatever it is that we're clinging to, it's actually preventing our guides from really being able to make magic happen. And so yesterday I had a situation where I was like, I just need a miracle. I need some divine intervention. I don't even know the solution that'll make it better. I'm just giving you guys artistic freedom, go to town, just make this situation in my life disappear. And I did later on get a call that the thing that was going on in my personal life was actually being handled and being addressed in a way that it hadn't been addressed for about 13 months. So whatever it is you're clinging to, whatever you're really holding on to, for a lot of us, it could be that desired end result. Let it go so that something even better can come in, or so that our guides can actually make things happen. The more we cling to things, we almost end up in like a tug of war with the angels, guides, and ascended masters, and they don't do that. Right? If you're going to hold on to it, they're just going to make you more uncomfortable. They're not going to play. They're not going to pull back. Okay. So what's going on in the conscious mind? What we're very aware of is that we are entering the age of light. And so on 9/11, that actually was something that was coming through for me quite frequently. So I actually heard these whispers of, this is the age of light. This is the age of light. And so consciously, we're aware that what's playing out right now consciously, we're very aware that this is a lifelong pattern. This is a lifetimes long pattern. So these aren't like, this isn't our first trip in the rodeo, right? We've done this before. And so we're very aware of that. And so which of those patterns, kicking it back into that obstacle, what is it? What obstacles or what patterns are you clinging to that aren't serving you? It could be that belief that God is of a punishing, or source is more of a punishing source as opposed to an empowering one. And I've seen time and time again how empowering source can be, even though, like I said, like I disclosed, like I have had those moments where I'm like, did you forget about me? Like, did you hear that prayer? Because I was very serious about it. And so that is actually, that could be a belief that you're holding on to that you actively need to address. And really the way forward I have found is to look for the mini miracles, to actually see where source is working in other aspects of your life, because you know that it all comes back. It's all coming full circle. So even if something feels like so outside of the box on your journey and you're like, how is this leading me to what I want? This comes back to, source is working. The angels are ever present. They're always listening. They're always orchestrating. And so sometimes it is a matter of finding those points. So in the unconscious, this is a really phenomenal card for us because it's kind of the heart of what we all need to be doing on this journey, whether it's a twin journey or not, whether you're just kind of showing up and like, I'm a woman and I know that I am here to do big things. I know I have my soul's purpose, but I can't tap into it. And so in the unconscious, we're being asked to answer the call. So what is your soul calling you to do? And that could be something as small as like maybe you had a crap week and your soul is saying emotionally you're exhausted. Kick it on the couch tonight. Like don't go out, just stay home, rest, restore, refuel. So really tapping into your soul and knowing that it doesn't always give you this end result. It doesn't always give you this big step forward. It can be as simple and as subtle as draw yourself a hot bath. It could be something big. It could be, go live on YouTube with a divine feminine reading. Because like I said, this is new, but I was deeply, deeply called / nudged and pushed into doing this. And I was even told like this wouldn't be a bad thing for you to start doing every week to help people and to help drive the divine feminine forward, as opposed to getting really kind of anchored into like, what else is happening? What is happening that I can't see? Like starting to take the reins of our journey. Okay. So in the past, and this is another card that was from a reading I did previously this week for y'all. So in the past, Sisterhood of the Rose. So this is another echo. This is where we have been here before. This beauty and devotion, the priestess, the mystic, the teacher. So I do have this belief that if you're watching this, you likely have a history of doing the spiritual work, of being the mystic, of being the spiritual teacher, and guiding others. And so this is a call, especially when we look at that unconscious card, to answer the call. You're being told, like, now is the time, step forward, be the leader that you are here to be. You don't have to have, every single ounce of wisdom known to mankind in order to lead, in order to push people forward, or push people sounds aggressive, in order to guide and mentor people forward, in order to promote spiritual growth and your own divinity. And so the future card, see, I love these cards because they always, always, always are such a comprehensive roadmap forward. So future card, birthing a new age. Okay, so these are birthing new creations. These are dreaming a new world into being. So obviously as twins, we're here with a double mission: to spiritually evolve or personally evolve on our own, obviously, and to also propel that journey forward for others, to guide, to lead, to be on the forefront of unconditional love. So, and I know it's like, oh, like I've heard that so many times. So take a look at what it is you most want to put out into the world. Like if you were going to leave your mark on the world, what would you want it to be? So personally for me, there is nothing in this world I want to do more than help usher women into their soul's purpose, whether twin or not, right? All women. I'm like, I want you guys to start knowing why you're here. I want you to see that path forward. I want you to know that time is not running out. That's a common thing. Like people are like, I'm here for a reason. Time is running out and I can't find it. So time is not running out. Time is infinite. It's that worrying that time is running out that keeps us stuck, that keeps us from stepping forward. Take a chance, do the thing, answer the call, do the one thing that your soul is asking of you, and just take it from there. So, where are we present? So, really interesting. Where are we currently is the Council of Light, right? So, this is that idea of divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. This is all the things in the Akashic, in the issue card, coming back. So, what is going on with your guides? Are you talking to them? Are you praying or are you demanding? So, I used to be a very demanding person to my guides where I was like, you will do this. Now I sit in total surrender and in total prayer, and that has served me better than demanding, quite honestly. But so where we are right now is having to sit and just accept, like, right now there's nothing that we can maybe see on the journey, but things are happening regardless. So really powerful message there, especially when we see it echoed the way it is. You know, like I said, looking for the mini miracles, sitting in deep, deep gratitude. You know, I don't care. Like for me, like with my gratitude practice, it has ebbed and flowed over the past, year or so, and I enter different phases of it. But the other day, I found myself just really grateful to have soap. Like I was really grateful that that was an invention. And so, really, like, think of how your basic needs are being met. That will help ground you. That will help anchor you. And also, when big things feel like they aren't progressing, you got to focus on the smaller ones. Okay. So the next card is the mentor or the guide card, and it is align your life, which I love because it's a fragmented mirror. So you see that she's just kind of all sort of distorted. And so we know the mirror very well on this path. So what is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? That is your teacher. What is being reflected to you? What are you being called out on, triggered by, getting really clear on it? And noticing that everything is mirroring something back to you. So I did talk a little bit earlier about this personal thing going on in my life. I mean, I'm not going to be covert about it for this card because otherwise it would be really hard to make this example. But I live in an apartment and the people above me are really loud, really rowdy. I had a reading yesterday. They were blasting their music. I had to cancel my reading. And so I was pissed, quite honestly. Like it was not one of my finer moments. But here's the thing. I was walking my dog actually about 3 hours ago, and I was like, oh, how is that reflecting something that I need to address? Well, the mental chatter, it's too loud up here. So I need to shift into the heart space. I need to work a little bit more from a soul level on this journey and not get so upset and frustrated by the mental chatter that I have going on, but I do need to find constructive ways to deal with it. Okay, so looking at what is really pissing you off right now and seeing how it's reflecting a part of you that you need to address. That is your greatest teacher. That is the most profound guide on this journey. Okay, so the next card is the hopes and fears. And of course, that's a double edge, right? So obviously, hope, everything goes well. Fear is the complete opposite end of that. And so what is the hope? The great gathering. This is that idea that it's all coming together, intuitive hits, our soul family, our soul tribe are coming home. We are becoming one. We are seeing union. We are seeing harmony and balance in our life. So that's obviously the hope. That's obviously the big dream here, is that everything works out the way we want it to, right? And intuitively, we know it can work out that way. But what happens? Fear sabotages that, right? Fear is your intuition's worst enemy. They will go to war. And I've seen it happen in my own life just time and time again. So it's all coming together. Take that wisdom. That's a big one from the Council of Light. They love to whisper that. It's all happening according to plan. It's all coming together. Everything is on schedule, is kind of the echo. And once again, that circles back to the issue, which is faith in the parts of our journey we can't see. Okay, so the outcome of this is kind of like the immediate of this week. Okay, is how I'm reading this spread. So this is what we're addressing this week, some Saturday to Saturday. So the outcome card, what we are aiming to achieve, we'll say this week, is a trust of the niggle. So whatever that soul is saying, whatever your intuition is whispering, try to trust it a little bit more. And then address what that feeling is trying to tell you. For me, like hope, faith, trust, surrender, patience are all words that have been echoed to me for the past year. And I'm actually looking at the date. It's been a year ago today where I embarked on this journey unknowingly. I didn't know I was on this journey for another couple of months. But I had that knowing that somebody was entering my path or was sitting in front of me, that was not the first time I had met them. In this lifetime, it definitely was, but there was a history there. But I didn't know that. I didn't identify that for several months. So trust the niggle. What your intuition is saying, it's usually comes across as this calm, peaceful, very sacred voice. Your fear is that like aggressive, anxiety-ridden voice. And when you start to pay attention to them, you will see how that plays out. You will see the difference in them. So over the next week, really try to trust your intuition. Use your intuition. Use that sacred and divine voice to keep the fear, to keep those the anxiety at bay. And then join me next week. I'm going to do another reading. I've already put it on my calendar. And so we're going to see how like these weekly readings help drive our journeys forward. If you want, in the description of the video, I have posted a link for my newsletter. I send out tips and freebies and forecast. So I call them soulcasts for the week every Sunday evening. So you can sign up using that link. You can also join my free Facebook group, Sisterhood of Stars. Really important to note, these are not twin specific tools and groups. These are for women who are ready to enter this zone of unlocking their power and rising into their sacred purpose. So if you loved this reading, go ahead and let me know so that I definitely keep going with them as long as we have people that are benefiting from them, okay? But I hope you have a wonderful evening. Namaste.